Welcome you everybody. Let me clear objective of this lecture. So in this lecture, first of all, we are going to discuss about analog to digital conversion, and then we are going to discuss about one technique that can be used to convert analog signal into digital signal. So name of that technique is PCM, that is pulse code modulation. So let's start. So in today's world, there are many devices which are generating analog signal. For example, the signal which is generated by microphone is analog in nature. The signal which is generated by camera is also analog signal. But there is one problem. What is that problem? Digital signal is superior to analog signal. Why? Simple, because digital signal is robust to noise. Digital signal can be easily recovered, corrected, amplified. Already you are familiar with analog signal and digital signal. Already we have seen what are advantages of a digital signal over analog signal. So due to this, it may be required to convert digital signal into the analog signal. For this reason, the tendency today is to change analog signal into digital data. So there are two techniques which we are going to discuss for converting analog signal to digital signal. So which are that techniques? So first one is pulse code modulation. In short, it is called as PCM, and second one is delta modulation. So first of all, we are going to discuss about pulse code modulation. Now let's discuss first technique, that is pulse code modulation. In short, it is called as PCM. So what is PCM? So it is most common technique that is used for converting analog signal into digital data. So see, this is block diagram of PCM. What is input to PCM? So input to PCM is analog signal. Okay, and these are different components of PCM. So what PCM will do, it will take this analog signal as an input and it is going to convert that analog signal into digital data. Now let's try to understand different components of PCM. So PCM has three main processes. So here you can see those three main processes. So this is first process, second process, third process. So in first process, what will happen? The input analog signal, okay, input analog signal is sampled. So that process is called as sampling. So in sampling, what is going to happen? This analog signal will be sampled. Then, which is second step? The sampled signal is quantized. Okay, so see this block diagram. So what is input to sampling process? It is analog signal. So this analog signal will be sampled, and after that, what will be the output of sampling process? It will be a sample signal. So that sample signal is given as input to next process, that is quantization. And what this quantization will do? It will, so in this particular step, in this particular process, the sample signal is quantized. Then that quantized signal will be given as input to encoding. So what this encoding will do? So in encoding process, the quantized values are encoded as stream of bits. Okay, so this quantized signal will be converted in series of 1 and 0. That is nothing but encoding. Now let's see first step of pulse code modulation. So name of that step is sampling. So what happens in sampling? So input to sampling is analog signal. So in case of sampling, that analog signal will be sampled every TS second. So what is TS? So here TS is sampling period. It is sampling interval. So in case of sampling, what we have to do? We have to take the samples. We have to take samples of given analog signal after time period TS. So as we have sampling period, we can also have sampling frequency. So sampling frequency is suppose Fs, and it will be given by equation Fs is equal to 1 upon Ts. So in case of sampling, value of signal, value of given analog signal is measured at certain intervals in time, and each measurement can be considered as one sample. So let's try to understand sampling process with the help of this diagram. Now in this figure, you can see one analog signal, you can see one digital pulse. So when this analog signal and this digital pulse are multiplied, then we will get samples. we will get samples like this. So this is output of sampling. Okay, so input to sampling will be analog signal. So sampling will take the samples of this analog signal, and then such type of samples will be generated. So here try to understand that these samples which we are getting, they will have shape same as that of shape of analog signal. Now let's try to understand how these samples are getting generated. So here assume that on output side here, okay, so here suppose we have one switch, and this analog signal is suppose continuously passing through this particular switch. Now this switch, it can be either on or it can be either off. So now let's assume that when this switch is on, now let's assume that when this particular switch is on, then sample of given analog signal will be recorded. Okay, value of analog signal at that particular time instant will be recorded, and when this switch is off, then there will not be any recording, just analog signal will pass. Okay, now here again make one more assumption that this particular switch will be on whenever we give one digital pulse to it. Okay, so when we give suppose this pulse to this switch, then suppose this switch will be on, right? So when we will give this first pulse to this switch, what will happen? What will happen? Yes, value of this particular signal, okay, value of this particular signal at that particular instant will be recorded. So what is value of this signal? What is value of this analog signal at this particular time instant? Yes, it is almost 0. So that 0 will be recorded. So I can say that this is our first sample. Okay. Now see here there is no pulse. So that's why this particular switch will be in off condition. So just what will happen here? Analog signal will pass through it. Now here see again one more digital pulse. So due to this digital pulse, what will happen? Let's assume that this switch will be on. So this switch is on. So what will happen? Value of analog signal at that particular instant will be recorded. So what is the value of that analog signal at this particular time instant? Yes, so it will have some negative value. So see that negative value will be recorded. So in this way second sample will be generated. Okay, so just by using this digital pulses, various samples of given analog signal will get recorded here. Now let's see quantization. So what is quantization? It is process of measuring the numerical values of the sample and giving them a table value in suitable scale. The result of sampling is series of pulses with amplitude values between maximum and minimum amplitude of the signal. The set of amplitude can be infinite with non-integral values between the two limits. These values cannot be used in encoding process. Now let's see the steps that are followed in quantization. So the first step is we assume that the original analog signal has instantaneous amplitude between V minimum and V max. Then we divide the range into L zone, each of height delta, where delta is given by V max minus V minimum whole bracket divided by L. We assign a quantized value of 0 to L minus 1 to the midpoint of each zone, and then we approximate the value of the sample amplitude to the quantized value. Now let's see next step of PCM, that is encoding. So it is last step of PCM. So what happens in encoding? After each sample is quantized and number of bits per sample is decided, each sample is changed to n-bit code word. So number of bits which are required for each sample is determined from number of quantization level. How? Suppose if number of quantization level is L, then number of bits required for each sample can be calculated by using this formula. So number of bits is equal to log 2 of L. For example, if L is 8, then we can say that number of bits which are required for each sample will be